G'day everyone, and welcome to another episode of the GiddyUp Podcast. My name is JT, but let's face it, this show is not about me. It is about the most famous person to be born in the town of Donald on the 19th of December in 1975. It's the star of the show, Donald James William Elgin, better known as Donnie Elgin. Donnie, welcome to another episode 14.
Probably read it on the news tomorrow morning. If I disappear, it's, oh dear, here we go. I've already got, here's Don. Am I reading that right, JP?
You are a little quiet, I've got to say, Don. Just while Don's fixing that, far out, we had some fun just getting live, as you probably realised tonight. Don is in the back arse of nowhere at the moment, and we weren't even sure if we're actually even going to get him on the show, to be honest. So we managed to at least get him going, but clearly we've still got a bunch of tech issues, so it just makes our show more interesting. I know, right?
Now, how we go, mate? Has anyone picked me up?
Yeah, that sounds a bit better, I think, to me.
A bit better? All right, well, let's roll with that for now. We'll see what happens. JT, I've got something that'd be wonderful to do, and that would just be to relax. You know, sometimes I look forward to getting home and maybe getting in to have a float, JT. Now, I spoke to my lovely people at the float place, the water temple, and I said, listen, it makes the world of difference to me when I get there and I just get to get naked and get in the tank and just float. What do you think? And they said, Don, it's not just you, the benefits are for everybody. Why don't we give the GiddyUp Podcast listeners a special deal? And so JT, they've given us a deal of a lifetime. It's $49, I think it was, for May. So JT, the reason I raised this so soon is, one, I did say I'd mentioned it last week to our lovely people at the float place, the water temple. But I'm keen to get your thoughts on it, JT, because I took you along. I was bloody excited. I said, JT, you're going to love it. You get the big tank. Now, I know you don't like sharks, JT, but how would you like the water tank? Just you, that's not me, by the way. I'm having a close look at that. Too many feet. JT, how did you find it?
Well, I've got to try and work out how to get your camera working, because, like I said, we're having all sorts of bloody techies tonight. Let's see if this... There we go. There, I can see your face now. That's a little bit better. How did I like the float? Oh, look... I want to say it was bloody relaxing, Don, but I've got to say, look, it's not for everyone, it's fair to say, but I think if you love it, it is isolation, and as soon as they close that door, you're just floating on the water, which is a weird sensation, and I did like that bit, but my mind just goes 4 million miles an hour, Donnie, and I just can't slow it down. So for me, I'm just, and maybe I need to do more floats, maybe that's the issue, because I just couldn't switch off. So for me, I'm like, when's this thing going to end? Oh, what's that do? Oh, where's this light? And I was just, brain was just too active, right? So, but yeah, I know you swear by it. I know lots of other people absolutely swear by it. So I think it's like with all these things, you've just got to find out what works for you.
Well, JT, the one thing I know that works for us is the listeners don't bullshit us. They've said straight away that we've got some tech issues. We've got to get the sound right.
I've turned mine down a little bit better, so hopefully I'm a bit better. Yeah.
Okay. And I'm glad they're just talking about the sound. Like Kim's just popped up a comment there saying you guys sound shocking, which is fantastic, because when they start saying you guys look shocking, that really hurts.
There's a bit of that. There's a bit of that too. Yeah. Your sound isn't great. Is mine better, guys? Because I've turned it down a little bit here. It's very weird. I've had to turn up max to try and get Donnie's up and turning mine up in the process. But, challenging.
Hopefully,
not good.
Hopefully we can get this right, because the whole purpose of a bloody podcast is so that we can speak and share.
Communicate.
Yeah, hello. We love the fact that so many people jump on board and have got 2 bobs worth to share with us too. And the big ticket items, JT, we don't shy away from the sounds and the important things, the sounds of communication and people going, this is bullshit. We want to get to the bottom of it. So we like to discuss those things. There's a few big things that I know have been going on, and I know you are across all things news, and you do not miss a beat. So when it comes to money, we've got the Money Whisperer tonight. We've got some issues with one of my favourite airlines. I know you're going to point those out. So yeah, hopefully we get the sound right so that the guys, because what matters more than anything is that you hear the trivia questions. Now, JT, you're trying to stitch up our listeners. Is that right? You got 3 questions?
I've got 3 questions tonight because last week I was a little bit dirty because everyone seemed to know the bloody answers, and I thought I had some good, pretty much. Yeah, I thought I had some good trivia questions, and bloody everyone got it right. So I thought, bugger this, Donny. So I've gone hard. Yeah, I agree. Donny, fix your bloody sound up while I just crap on. Although this is one of the things this does confirm for everyone though. If you're a new person to the show, is it's absolutely live because there's no way we would go well with this car crash, right? So it is live, and I did say to Don just because we were struggling before we went live, I was like, Don, once we get going, mate, you just take over so I can fix all the other stuff, and I can't even fix the other stuff because Don can't get his sound going.
Okay,
right,
stay tuned. Here I go. Check this out.
Turn
Have
my,
you got me now? Am I louder, humans? Can you hear me? I've done some fancy shit behind the scenes here.
I've turned mine down, and I've just turned mine down. Is that I can't work out why I'm so loud if I'm still loud. That's so weird.
What's really funny, JT, is you are the tech guru. Like, you know shit. We were plugging Rhodes last. That's maybe what happened is Rhodes didn't come to the party and hit us up with a whole lot of new stuff. Maybe next week they can do that. Anyway, see how we go. Is that any better, my lovelies?
We've got a much better. Is that me better or Donny better? Just give us a name and then we'll get cracking because we've actually got a lot to get through tonight.
We've got a shitload tonight.
And just quietly, Donny, it seemed like you actually looked at the run sheet for once, so this is promising for a big show.
Well, I flashed it on here. I've only got one little pissy screen to work with, JT, so I was a bit like, geez, I'm likely to lose you. And here we go.
Good, you've got us both. All right, that's good. Hey everyone, welcome to the GiddyUp Podcast. My name's JT. I'm joined by Donny tonight. And if you're a first-time listener, then you're probably going, what the hell is going on? But trust me, this happens every week. Well, every now and then we do pluck it out and get something right. But that wouldn't be
we keep saying we'll get it right too. That's the
I'm still
sad
shit.
thing.
Don, you keep talking, I'll fix mine. All right.
People keep coming back to it. That's the wonderful thing. That's what we love, you guys, is you're as sick in the head as we are because we keep going, why are we doing this? We haven't got our shit together. But people keep coming back. And so the thing that we've always resided with is that we're going to keep coming back every Wednesday night for a chat. We're going to give away some spank. That's my fancy vodka. And I do know there's some recipients out there, and I'm hoping that they have, I'm hoping they've sobered up so they can tune into. We'll hear from them or hopefully see a few of their comments tonight. And we absolutely love the fact that this is the show where we give ourselves permission, and of course to the listeners as well, to have the conversations you're not sure on. Now, I did have one of our lovely listeners send me a quote, because I did mention last week that I was going to get my head around pronouns and I was going to make sure that I was up to speed and I could really do it justice. And somebody sent me a quote and it set me 100 miles back, JT. And they said, Donny, if you cut the balls off a male dog, it's still a male dog. And I thought, well, that's not going to help me sort of determine male, female, pronoun, them, they, whatever. So I just thought, I'm going to leave that to the experts. JT, if you can help me with that, fantastic. If not, well, just treat everybody as a human and with respect, and it'll be okay. If you get it wrong, just apologise, share your side of the story, and move on. That's my tip for pronouns and you know, balls cutting off dogs. They're still males. So anyway, JT, let's get on to one of our segments. I know that you've got a bit to get through. Actually, first of all, before we go anywhere, can you tell me what you've noticed about the Victorian budget? I know that you are hot on that.
Budget, Donny. I've got to tell you, first of all, I don't know if I'm still super loud or not. I reckon I am. Okay, I'm going to switch mics. Hang on, one sec.
Okay, we're getting comments. This thing too. I don't know if you noticed, but sometimes we pop up the comments on the screen, but everybody who comments, the comments come
all right.
outside.
Hopefully that's a different audio, but you should be able to hear me all okay now, people. I trust you'll let me know if you can't.
If you what?
Everyone good?
They're about to share
I
whether
know
they're
the
good or
problem
not,
now.
You got it? See, this is JT having light bulb
I,
moments. What have you done, mate? You've got that look on your face. Have you froze or are you...
No, I see the problem. I understand the problem. I don't know how to fix it.
We are getting a mixed bag. I reckon it's more to do with my internet and the fact that this little town is sending me a very big signal. Don, tonight is not your night. JT too loud, Donny too low. Well, that's bloody fantastic because that means that I'll see if I can sort me out. Hopefully that helps Shazer. Hey, trust me guys, if we stuff this up again, just stick with us, all right? Next week we might be, I'll put it out there now, I might be in the air at this time. And so next week we might not be on air at all. On Wednesday night we'll be but we will absolutely be back. Really exciting news, and it's a bit hush. I can't let it out just yet, but I get excited with oxygen, and sometimes we have little wins in life. I've had a little win, and I cannot wait to share it with you. But I can't share it yet because it's a bit confidential. But I'm just giving you the heads up. Some really cool shit is going to happen this year, and you will say, he told us about that when he was in that little town, and he didn't share it with us. But I promise I'll share it with you before you see it somewhere. Righto, JT, how are you going, mate? Have we got?
I think I don't know. Hopefully, we've got this working now. I can hear you, which is good. Hopefully, everyone can hear me now. And background noises. I don't know what background noises.
Hey, guys, even if JT gets it right, can you do me a favour? Just keep telling him all night that things aren't right, because this will do his head in, mate.
It's doing my head in already. I feel like just picking up a certain computer and throwing it out the window at the moment. But all right, we're getting a bit of that. We're getting a few that's better. So, okay, good. We'll just go with this setup for now. I'm not going to touch a bloody thing in case I stuff it up. So, now,
JT, because you're our IT man. Before we rip into our segments, can I just put it out there? No, it's not because I'm firing JT, but we are actively looking for I don't want to say slave labour, but we are looking for somebody who's enthusiastic and keen as hell to learn a little bit about podcasting and a little bit about producing and work with us. Okay, you'll get paid the same as JT and I get paid, which is nothing. But you will have a lot of fun and you'll learn a shitload of stuff. So if you're interested in that, or if you know somebody who is, reach out to JT, because I'm no bloody good to you. Reach out to us honestly, and we will love to talk to you about what you might be able to do with the show. So there you go.
Yep.
Righto, JT. Sorry,
yep.
mate.
What he said. So if you missed it a bit earlier, because I want to make sure we do give him a little bit of justice, there is a great offer for people that are looking to go to the water float, Donny. So just as a recap, in case people couldn't hear at the time, can you just give them a little bit of a quick overview of what the deal is, where are they, all that sort of stuff?
$100, yeah, 100%. Yep, $49, JT. It's for the month of May. It's for an hour session. I kid you not. If you haven't floated before, it's the Water Temple. It's in High Street. I think we're in Armadale. It is just
fantastic. Yep.
So. JT hates it, shits himself, doesn't like being water, he smells a bit. That's why we often do our podcast apart now, because he doesn't bath. But no, it wasn't for him, but it's well worth trying. And do it soon, because the Water Temple are changing direction. So that's why they're giving this great deal now before they wrap up. So there you go, JT.
Brilliant. Thanks, Donny. Now, of course, I want to go back to all of our scenes are going to be stuffed up here. So watch this for a bit of fun with video, because Donny, I don't know if it's the internet where Donny's dialed in for, but we are having a lot of trouble on the video side of things. So we'll just soldier on. So one of the things I want to show you, and we did touch on it very quickly, don't want to talk too much about this stuff, but yes, the Victorian budget was out. Now, I realise not all of our listeners are in Victoria, but a couple of things I just thought were staggering, and apologies again, you're not going to see Don here until I actually fix it at the same time, which I will do right now. So this will happen on the fly with every single bloody shot that we go to. But this is the picture of the debt in Victoria. And you can see there from how it's just sort of bumbled along there at a pretty low debt. And you can see just the skyrocketing that has happened since about 2018 when, COVID started to become just before COVID hit and then just gone ballistic. And right now, just get your head around this for numbers. And you talk about incompetence of governments, Donny. But right now, and I had the numbers, I did a bit of research here, $26 million a day we are forecast to be paying in interest on the debt at the moment. That's how much debt we're in, $26 million a day. And annually, that is $9.4 billion Victorians are paying in interest every year on the debt. Now, I don't know about you, Donny, but Victoria's sold all their assets. We literally have nothing left. We used to have the electricity grids, the water, everything. Everything's been privatised. We've sold all their assets and everyone's still been paying taxes. What the hell have they been doing, Donny? How can we be $9 billion in interest a year in that much debt?
Well, certainly a lot of money got given away, JT. None of us were squirming and screaming when we were getting $900 in our hand each week. I mean, there's people that, quadrupled their normal income just because they were getting that handout from the government. And then, of course, that created a flow-on effect. But it had to come at some point. And, JT, the question I've got for you is, how do we pay it back? Where does that come from?
Well, it's taxes, Donny. That's the only way to pay it back. And fair to say, I think we pay enough tax as it is. So the only way it can be paid back is more tax. We already are one of the highest tax countries in the world, and clearly that ain't going to be changing anytime soon. So lots of misery ahead, and I feel for our generation, the next generation, because we are going to be stuck with this debt. And you think, what could we do with that money? We're talking $9 billion just in interest. That's hospitals, that's schools, that's bloody all this stuff that we need. And we're just paying it because we racked up ridiculous amounts of debt. It's bloody frustrating. It's not like a grumpy old man, Donny, but incompetence, mate.
Well, it's a fair call, though. I mean, if people have got an issue, then my big point is, JT, is even if we vote this government out, the next one comes in, the debt's not wiped. Doesn't disappear. So, and that tax is things like your, land tax, and when you sell a property, when your income tax, all these taxes. It's a shit situation. But tell me, JT, is the smart move to Queensland? Do we just run from this, or if Queensland has everybody got the same issue? Is this a global thing, or are we just going, Victoria, you stuffed up at the same time where, we've got all this infrastructure as well and all this building going on? That's got to cost a bit.
Well, from an Australian perspective, Victoria is the worst by a country mile. 100% you can go, but there is debt expected to increase in just about all the states. And again, it's just, as individuals, we understand the concept of don't spend beyond your means. And our government don't seem to understand that concept no matter where you go. Now, of course, they've got to borrow money for big infrastructure projects, and there's been a lot of that, but it's the business cases have still got to stack up. And at this stage, even in this budget that they just released, in the big rail project that I'm sure you've heard about over here, where they're going to run a train from Cheltenham all the way to Box Hill and eventually over to the airport. Well, they've just delayed that by another 4 years, and they still will not release the costings of how much that's going to cost. And the last projection was $16 billion. It's just staggering. So, but a good point, Benny. I think we should ask the Money Whisperer what he would do. What do we know? We're just a couple of chumps that just paying our taxes. But the Money Whisperer would know. He would have some good ideas, Dottie.
JT, I'm going to put that to the Money Whisperer next week. I know he's got some real sound advice based on the fact of interest rates and the change and the what's happening there. So I'm really keen for the listeners to get hold of that one because it's some solid advice. I also had somebody ask me about I'd love to buy shares. How do I do it? And my best advice is just go back to former podcasts, because the Money Whisperer has been on there. He's let us know what apps to use, how to actually do it. So the great thing about that is he's got skin in the game and he's recommending the same shit he uses. So absolutely well worth it. Now, JT, was there a Qantas breach? Were you trying to have a crack at my favourite airline, Qantas?
Well, Donnie, I know you like your flights around the country, and how's this for just sneaking under the radar? So this is a week ago today that there was news emerging, and it's now been confirmed, and Qantas have now apologised. I'm just trying to get the screenshot up here somewhere. Yeah, basically what they did, Donnie, and again, I'll just fix the footage here. But basically, there was a data breach, and what that meant was that you went to go into your boarding pass and you were seeing somebody else's details, Don.
Oh, that's
So
not
so you went
ideal.
to no, so you went to log in and go, hey, I'm off to Sydney or wherever the hell it is that you want to go, and
Hmm.
yeah, no, you were seeing someone else's name and details. So clear to say, I mean, how many risks are that with, you don't even know who's boarding the aircraft, let alone all the other security risks of your personal details have now been visible, whether you're flying business class or economy, everything. And Qantas have come out, they've acknowledged it was a data hack, but they've said, oh, no, sorry, it wasn't a hack. It wasn't a cyber attack. We just stuffed up, basically. So it's all good. We just stuffed up. No, Qantas, not good. Still shit. Absolutely appalling that you have systems in place that allow this to happen. It's a serious risk, Donnie, for your security, for other security. We've got a lot of women, as we know, in domestic violence situations. Their personal details might have just been compromised. Absolute disgrace. And what's disgraceful is I don't think many people even know that it happened.
Well, that's sort of part of a good thing. If not a lot of people know it's happened, maybe not a lot of people have been, personally affected by it. Typically, when we had that Optus outage and people died as a result of it, they weren't able to get onto 000 and that sort of stuff. That was a crisis, and I know it's never okay to excuse this. And even though it's Qantas, I don't give a shit. Whoever it is, a breach is a breach, and there's a process when a breach happens. They've got to go through hey, one, owning it, two, finding the fault, making sure they've rectified it, all that sort of stuff. But I think there's the lack of accountability is the bit that pisses people off. Is it just to say, yeah, oh, sorry, we just made a mistake. It's like, actually, when we make mistakes, there's got to be some accountability with everything. So I certainly hope that there is. And that said, I hope they don't change their process too much, because I'm only a few hundred status credits away from lifetime gold. So which is
Yeah,
Qantas
yeah,
got
rub
all
it
the
in,
time. So
rub it in,
anyway.
whatever. Whatever. Now, Donnie, I mentioned a few weeks back the Titanic. I love the Titanic. Everyone knows I'm sort
You
of a bit
do
of a
love the
Titanic buff. I
Titanic.
watch everything and read everything. I've got the Lego model, all that sort of stuff. And obviously, we had the Titanic exhibition here in Melbourne for a few months, and I was bloody keen to see it. I went and saw it when I was in Vegas and saw the biggest piece of the Titanic that was ever recovered in Vegas, one side of the ship, the wall, with a couple of portholes and stuff. It was pretty amazing. And so I was really keen to get down to the Melbourne one. I know a lot of people went and saw it and said it was fantastic. And I thought to myself yesterday, Donnie, I better get on and bloody organise that. And guess what, Donnie?
Sunk.
It's gone, mate. The exhibition is over. I freaking missed it.
JT, that's what happens when you're in the vault counting all your cash, mate. You've got to get out. Remember, that was my final advice last year. Don't get so busy, buddy, making cash that you forget to make a life. And look what you've done. You've bloody been counting cash.
Didn't
And you've
follow
missed
your
the
advice,
exhibition.
Donnie. Missed it. Bloody spewing. So if anyone else went out there and you got some good photos, send them through, because that's about as close as I'm going to get
Send them
to seeing
through,
the
run
bloody
them to
exhibition.
JT.
What a freaking idiot. Anyway, so tonight,
Hey,
trivia,
JT,
Donnie.
wait,
Yeah,
before you roll on, JT, the
yeah.
captain of the Titanic in the movie, all
Passed
over,
away yesterday.
passed
Yeah,
away. I
died
know,
yesterday.
bloody hell. That's unfortunate.
Very
But
sad.
yeah. Oh, there you go. I just thought I'd throw a bit of joy into that story. No,
Yeah,
that's
just when we're on a
unfortunate.
feel good mode there, that's bloody awesome.
Hats
So
off to him,
yeah,
though. He was bloody good actor. He did a good job, and he was fantastic. So, right, JT, I know that I have a phobia of needles, and there is a little something around the old AstraZeneca. Is there anything that you can enlighten me? Is this
well,
no more needles ever?
Well, we're talking, which is we're talking all the serious stuff early, aren't we, Donnie? But yeah, news today, which is big news. Now, I think most people know my stance over the period of the lockdowns, etc. But news today, and again, I have to fix the bloody camera. Get used to me saying it. But yeah, AstraZeneca, which a lot of Australians had the AstraZeneca shot. Maybe some of our listeners had AstraZeneca. But today, Donnie, they have confirmed that it is now being withdrawn globally. So AstraZeneca vaccine is no longer being supplied. Now, of course, they're citing for commercial reasons that there's just been reduced demand and that's going, but you'll see some of the headlines here that have gone out in the Australian news today. But yeah, there's been lawsuits left, right and centre. They have acknowledged that, there is an increase in death through blood clots and stuff that has been caused by the vaccine. There's a number of class actions that are against them. So, which one's the truth? Is it because of that? Is it because there really is decline in commercial use? I don't know. But either way, 100% it is being completely withdrawn. Now, it was withdrawn from Australia months ago, so it's already not been available here for quite a while. Atagi withdrew that many, many months ago, but now globally, off the shelves globally. So that was just a little bit of an update on all things COVID. So anyway, I want to do some fun stuff, Donny.
Sleeping tonight, everybody who had AstraZeneca jabs.
Well, the good news, Donny, is Donny, the good news is that we've got trivia questions to make the world better again. So, and I'll tell you what, as I said, I was humiliated last week, Donny. I thought I had some questions just to get everyone stumped. We'll only get a few names on the board because I've got to type them all in, and I end up spending bloody half my life typing names onto the wheel. That ain't happening again this week, Donny. The wheel is reserved for super smart people this week. If you want to get a shot at the wheel, you have got to get 3. Anytime you get an answer, you will go on the wheel. So you've got 3 chances to get on the wheel. You get them all right. There's three of you on the wheel. But Donny, what are they going to win for the wheel on tonight's show?
Tonight show. So every second show we have a couple of tickets to the Medallion Club or somewhere fancy. So of course we gave those away last week. Our old mate Kev won those, so he's celebrating,
Kev.
Around, ready to go to the footy this weekend, and he also shared it. So that was good karma.
Oh, nice.
Chances on
shared the show. That's right. Shared it again this week. He's got another bonus, Donny.
Well, I tell you who else shared it and got a bit of flack is that my little mate Swifty shared it, and up popped the photo of me. And you bloody docked it up, you bastard, with a bit of the old...
I don't know what you mean. No, don't.
Or whatever
mate, I was just diving into your portfolio, mate, from your competing days. That's all I did.
What I noticed is it was a very cold day that photo was taken, JT. Anyway, we're not here to talk about that. JT, what people will win tonight is a bottle of the finest Spank. And, of course, when I say the bottle of the finest, there's been some bottles that have been sent out last week, kept me going, busy over the weekend to get them all out. So... if you've tasted it, we'd love to hear your feedback. If you're drunk as a skunk on it, just dribble over the keyboard. That's okay. But definitely a bottle of Spank, JT, for our winner tonight.
Fantastic. All right. Well, the first question, Donny, and again, if you haven't done this before, it's pretty simple. You just need to type in the letter A, B, C, or D. Don't type the answer, just the letter. Now, there is a little bit of theme to tonight's questions, Donny. There's sort of a bit of... Well, just a bit of general trivia is the theme, really. I've got an actor question, a bit of Hollywood. Got a bit of an interesting fact that I just didn't know, and I reckon our listeners may not know either. And then I've got a bit of a music trivia question as well.
Would that interesting fact be how many wins have Hawthorn had this week, and did they get their second win on the weekend? Yes, they did. It was bloody good.
Mate,
how
we don't have to
go just before.
Sorry, mate, the connection's really bad, Donny. I lost you there. So anyway, moving right along. So, Donny, three choice. I'm going to let you choose which trivia question we go first with. You got a choice of the actor, the music, or trivia, sciencey trivia.
Let's go the actor, JT. Let's go the actor.
All right. Good luck, peoples. This is the tough one. I just don't know how people are going to go with this one, Donny. Remember, A, B, C, or D. Your time starts now. Now, there's no Donny. I'll have to fix that. So, but I'll read it out. The legal first name of the famous New Zealand actor is something Neil. The legal first name of the famous New Zealand actor is something Neil. Now, he was in a pretty famous movie. You might have heard of it called, I don't know, Jurassic Park maybe was one. Was it A, Nigel? Was it B, Fred? Was it C, John? Or was it D, Sam? They are your options, guys. Not much time left on the clock, so get your answer in. A, B, C, or D. I'll quickly get Don onto the screen, and we'll have a cut off. Seconds to go. And I reckon I've got them all, Donny. I have got them all. They've all gone D, Donny.
Oh, you did say legal name, didn't you, JT?
I did, Donny. I did say legal name.
It's changed at some point, JT.
Correct. His actual first name is Nigel, people. And he changed his name because no one wanted to have a Nigel in Hollywood. So he changed it to Sam. So stuff you all. You're all wrong. Got you all.
I tell you what, when you back JT into a corner, he comes out.
Cool. Come on.
Bastard questions. So, well, there you go, JT. That is going to save you some time. So I think everybody had their go, and everyone went pretty early. And looking at it, JT, everyone, only the person who went second, which was Sharon, after she'd already put her answer forward. So Sharon,
yeah, no chance. I think you're all out. I don't think anyone got it unless you changed it. No, got them all. Got them all, Donny.
That's right. I think we've got 3 questions, JT. Tonight, you've got your prick pants on. You're going to be a real prick with these questions and make it tough for people.
Okay, to be fair, and I did say, Donny, you choose the first one. That was the toughest of the lot. The rest are pretty easy. You'll be fine. All right, now, Donny, we have got a bit of stuff to go through. But Donny, you've got a nomination. I love it when you have these nominations. So I'm just going to play our little stinger, Donny, and I'm going to throw it over to you because I think the stinger itself kind of gives away what the topic is about.
Dickhead of the week.
You suck.
Oh, JT, you wouldn't believe this, mate. I was at the footy. I went down to watch Maxie play. Maxie's Midgie's boyfriend. Bloody good young bloke. Head on his shoulders, a whole lot. He's really switched on. Good, committed man to his body and working out, and he's got a good rig on him. Went down to play footy. Poor bastard's got a few concussions. He goes in pretty hard. Anyway, there was a bit of spite in the local footy, and I don't mind.
Oh, yeah, we like a bit of bit of bargy at the footy. Yeah. Don't get it at the AFL anymore, so,
No, you bloody look at someone sideways, you get 3 weeks. Anyway, so I've got the camera out, and for me, mate, I film whatever I want, whenever I want, right? And it's usually
I've seen.
Whack it out. And it usually goes out to the people that follow me on Snapchat. That's where I spend most of my time with social media. Couldn't give a shit about all the other stuff. Anyway, I'm filming. I'm sitting in the back of the rig, and this bloke walks over to me and goes, "Oh, what are you filming, mate?" I thought, okay, whatever I want, mate. What's it?
The footy, I would have thought, would be pretty obvious.
Yeah, here I am. I'm in the forward pocket for this team, the back pocket for the other. I'm filming that. And he goes, "Oh, if any of that gets circulated, both teams can get in trouble." I'm going, "What's your point?" He goes, "Oh, I'm just letting you know both teams get in trouble, so, maybe you shouldn't be filming." I'm going, "Mate, I can film whatever I bloody want, and I will. So you can just jog on." And I get it that he was a bit Nancy about "Oh shit, we don't want to get clubs in." But I'm thinking there's guys out there that are playing a bit of thuggery. There's a bit of biffo, and I don't mind that. But the dirty shit, that's good for no one. And then there's guys out there that are absolutely losing their shit. That's good entertainment sometimes when you show your mates, go, "Have a look at this bloody going on." And so, but this peanut comes over and asking me what I'm filming. The lady beside me gets out the car, who happens to be the coach of the team that I'm down there watching. And she goes, "What did he just ask?" And I said, "He asked me what I'm filming." And I sort of told him to jog on because I can film whatever I like. And she said, "Does he know the whole game is being filmed because the camera capturing everything?" I said, "Probably not." So I thought, mate, you are clearly the dickhead of the week. I didn't get your name, but you know who you are. And there's a very good chance you're not watching the podcast. So I don't give a shit. So...
Yeah, mate, fair call. I remember back in my day, Donny, we used to do this show called Bear TV, right? It was the precursor to GiddyUp, really, right? Yes. And it was a lot of fun, but we used to film most of the games when I was playing down at, I think it's Caulfield Bears at the time. And so, someone was always filming the game. And back then the games weren't televised, Donny. So, our footage was pretty much the only footage of the game. And I remember there was one incident where the opposition guy just literally lined up. It was in one of the finals, lined up one of the youngest guys in our team and elbowed him to the head, knocked him into tomorrow, right? It was disgusting, off the ball. horrendous, right? And got it all on camera. And got to say, it was actually pretty good filming. I've got to say, because I was zoomed right in. It was just perfect, right? I was like, yep, got that. That's good.
Better than our
And I was
filming.
yeah, that's right. And I was filthy, Di. I was like, you see one of your mates get taken out in just an absolute dog acting, right? And I'm like, this guy needs to be outed. This is just bullshit. We don't need this stuff in footy, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, absolutely the politics comes into play. And it was like, no, we shouldn't do that, blah, blah, blah. Now, the footage got used at the tribunal and he got rubbed out for a fair amount of time on the back of the footage that was aired. But that footage never saw the light of day on social media. And I still to this day, it sort of irks me a little bit because I go, you know what? People should be held accountable for their shit acts like that. Like, it's not okay. It doesn't matter where it is. And you did it, mate. No one forced you to do it. It wasn't in play, innocuous. You deliberately lined this young kid up and fucking knocked him out. And this was an older guy. He was probably late 30s or whatever, and he's like had a crack at a probably 18-year-old kid at the time. It's like, mate.
Yeah. No, I'm all for a bit of blokes bloody standing their ground, but the dirty shit, I'm not a fan of that. And as I said, like Maxi's now looking at weighing up his career around his concussions and that sort of stuff. So, and he got one of those because he got a push in the back straight into another bloke. So, some of that stuff, it's avoidable. And the AFL are doing their bit to try and make it better, but it is a bit sad when you start seeing just thuggery shit. Like if you want to watch that, go and watch the UFCC or whatever it is. I don't watch that because for me, whatever it's called, goes too far. Like give me boxing any day of the week. But anyway, JT, that was the dickhead of the week, mate. Now,
fair enough.
I want to tell you something, JT, that I saw when I was doing a little bit of research, JT, and it was
a bit of research. Hang on, Donnie. This is news flash.
Well, that was the bizarre bit. It come in the form of money, JT. Have you got our stinger for bizarre news? Because this was.
Oh, yeah, mate. How about what? Lined up.
Just want to keep you on
bizarre news stories.
JT, how do you reckon you'd be if you won $1 million? I just want to find out, what would go through your head, do you reckon?
I'd be a bit annoying and probably have to bloody organise deposits and bloody, get my bank manager to sort it out. It'd be a bit frustrating, to be honest. But yeah, I mean,
JT,
it's $1 million. It's not exactly life changing. It's only $1 million. So whatever.
It
right?
would be for me. JT, if you won $1 million,
I'd be bloody pumped, Donnie. Of course I'd be pumped. It's $1 million, mate.
In the lotto, if you won $1 million, would you go, thank you, Lotto, we're done. We don't have to play.
Boom.
Is that how you...
Thank you, Lotto gods. Well, would you still buy another ticket? I don't know. $1 million. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. Anyone would take $1 million, but it doesn't go that far these days. So yeah, you'd probably still keep buying a ticket, wouldn't you?
Well, if you're the Massachusetts State Lottery, then you know for a fact that Christine Wilson not only bought a ticket, but 10 weeks later bought another ticket and won, JT, another $1 million 10 weeks apart. How bloody amazing is that?
She won twice.
$1 million lottery jackpot twice in 10 weeks, mate. That's bloody impressive, mate. Personally, I would have thought, yeah, that'll about do me. But so she said, right, the first time she was just going to buy herself a new car because she obviously had a shit bomb, and $1 million can buy a decent sort of car. And then the next time she won the mill, and she opted to take it. This is the thing I think people don't know about lottery, is when you win lottery and you say, yeah, I'll take the $1 million. If you take it in one hit, then
you get a lot less, don't you?
Amount.
Yeah, and it's a lot less, isn't it? Because they take their tax and
correct. So and the potential interest or whatever it is, but you get a shitload less. So 650,000, what she ended up with. So she just said, well, I'll bang that lot in savings. So it's like, there you go. But JT, I'm winning $1 million. I love my job, but I am dead set taking tomorrow off.
Really? A day off? But you hear that story, you hear it a lot though, don't you, Donnie, when people win the lottery and they literally still keep going to work. I just go, man, if I won a few million, I don't know if I'd be rocking up to work, at least not for a little while. It's,
with the podcast would look a bit different from just me, so we'd have to do this together $1 million. Righto, JT, I will tell you that anyone who wins $1 million, good on you, and don't forget, it's probably something to do. If you can't win it, then you should find a way to earn it. And the money whisperer, JT, he will help people do that.
He will. We'll be sharing him shortly because he's got a little 1 minute clip for us. A bit of advice on interest rates, obviously a hot topic at the moment. But before we do that, Donnie, there's just one other bit of bizarre news that it's a visual. You've got to see this, and again, I'll have to fix the camera. But now, Donnie, I know what you're probably thinking. That's a nice, cute photo of a bloke with his pet, and you'd be right, Donnie. It is. It's just a nice, pet. And this, I know everyone's probably going, sorry, what? Yep, that is an alligator. And yes, that's right. He is hugging the alligator. Now, you've got to ask yourself, why is a grown man hugging an alligator? That's a fair question to ask everyone. Well, I can tell you, because that is an emotional support alligator. This guy, we all have emotional support pets now. It's the in thing. Most people settle for a dog or a cat or maybe a bird. But no, this guy's emotional support animal is an alligator. What do you reckon, Don? Would you have an emotional support?
If the emotional support is the alligator, what sort of animal is his trigger? Fuck me, like that's scary. Like, I'm going to cuddle an alligator to calm me down. Holy shit! Then.
Well, Donnie, there's a couple of things that are weird about this story. So, first of all, I don't know, may call me crazy, but I thought that was batshit crazy in itself, that you've got an emotional support alligator. The second thing I thought was really crazy is the guy's name is Joey Henning. Now, there's nothing crazy about that. You go, that makes perfect sense. But Don, his name is spelt Joie.
Joie.
Who the hell spells Joey? Joie? I mean, that's just freaking weird in itself, right? So that was the second thing. I'm like, okay, you got an emotional support bloody alligator. Your name's Joey with weird ass freaking spelling. But here's the thing. Someone, and they think it might have been a little bit of a prank, because he used to have him in a bit of an enclosure, and someone thought it'd be quite funny to go and steal the alligator. And so they stole the alligator from his front yard, and they just ended up probably realising, this could actually bite me. So they just dumped the alligator out the front of someone else's property. Now, the people that they dumped it in have gone, holy shit, there's an alligator in our front yard. That's not cool. So they did what anyone else would do in America. They blew the shit out of it with shotgun. No, I'm joking. They didn't. They called the authorities, Don, and the authorities came around and did the right thing and said, here's an alligator. We better pick him up. That's no good. We'll just take him down to the local lake where all the other alligators are. So they took him off and just let him out with all the other alligators. And, unfortunately, Joey's now very upset because his emotional support alligator is just playing with all the other alligators. And, they said there's next to zero chance that he'll ever be having another cuddle from his emotional support alligator. So I'm not sure if our listeners are feeling sorry for Joey or not, but it surely qualifies, Don, as a bizarre news story.
Absolutely does, JT. Now, there's a couple of things with that. One is we're not here to judge what people, when they need
a
cuddle.
No, I'm judging. That is batshit weird.
No, look, JT, people, like, the world's full of weird people. Like, that's how it is. So if we can make someone feel a little bit more loved by letting them have I'm encouraging Joey to go for a swim and find his alligator. Jump in there, mate. It'll be the last cuddle you need. They'll all be very happy to see you, Joey, with the weird spelling. And
he will find a lot of other emotional support alligators too. Yeah.
Our good friend Rodney Nugent, he actually is a Paralympic gold medalist and an arm amputee, and with a bloody great sense of humour, I hugged one and it ate my arm off. There we go, and who are we to argue that? So very good, Rodney. I like it, and I'm with you, Craig.
Good.
That is bloody weird. Well,
that's shit. Now, Craig.
Weird shit.
Well, it is about weird shit. And Craig did ask a fair question, Donnie, because if people didn't know, the Powerball jackpot 60 mil this Thursday, I believe. So yeah.
It's a Money Whisperer giving us advice to buy a ticket. Because if he's not, we've got to change our Money Whisperer. Why wouldn't you?
Yeah. Actually, it's a very good question. Why don't we see what the let's have a listen and see what the Money Whisperer has got for us this week. As soon as I bloody find
buy a couple of tickets.
You'd want to hope so, wouldn't you?
G'day guys, it's the Money Whisperer here. The Reserve Bank on Tuesday kept interest rates where they currently are. There is talk from them though that the next movement might actually be up, which is a bit surprising. I still believe 12 months from now the rates will be lower than where we currently are, but the movement down process might take a bit longer than I first suspected and a few people were predicting. So it's very interesting that there are some fixed rates available on the market at 5.79 for between 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 years. Personally, I wouldn't lock in for any more than 2, maximum of, I'd probably do the 1 year, but one of those lenders even has a 2 or a 3K cashback depending on your borrowing amounts. I think that's not a bad option. If you're paying more than say 6.3, the ability to lock in a 5.79, get guaranteed savings for at least 6 months, probably more, and then reassess in 12 months, that's got to be a pretty attractive option. If you need details about who they are or where you might go, then contact the show. Cheers, bye.
I like that, JT. Like that right there is going to save people cash. As simple as that. And it's, I know I'm giving you a heads up, JT, it is a stuff around to go to the bank and reapply. But when banks are, like they've been after the Royal Commission of Banking, they were basically told, make it easier for people to switch. And it is a lot easier. So take into account your personal circumstances where you go, okay, there might be some extra to pay if I get out of this current contract. But, that's pretty a good close to 0.5%, a little bit more that you can save. And if your mortgage is around 500 grand, 0.5% over a year, mate, you're going to be in front. So, and with a 3 grand cash back offer, that could be well worth looking at. So definitely, if you do, shop around. I like the Money Whisperer, always bloody solid.
Bloody solid. But if you think that is a cost of living hack, wait for this one. Dotty, we love to bring some genuine ways that people can save money. Now, we've taken the piss a couple of times and given some interesting advice over the time. But, Don, I'm going to give – this is literally life-changing for me, Don. Now, for a lot of people that have followed along, you probably know that I've had my fair share of surgery over the last 4 or 5 years. And you know, mate, we are literally over 20 procedures in the last, few years. So it's been a lot, and it looks like I'm in for some more back surgery coming up. Now, this segment is not about me having some back surgery. I'll whinge about that at another time. But, of course, we do have this thing called private health insurance in Australia. Now, Don, I'm just always fascinated by this because I have private health insurance and I have pretty much the top cover, I have for a long time. And it's fair to say I reckon I get my money's worth because given the amount of surgery that I've had, right? But we've often heard about this out-of-pocket expense stuff, right? And I just wanted to give people a real example because I went and saw an orthopedic surgeon and to get a procedure done. Now, it's a pretty straightforward procedure. It's about an hour and a half of surgery and, you'll be up and about the same day or the next day and all good. And that's what I need to get done. We've had all the scans, all that sort of stuff. So I went and saw a specialist. And so his out-of-pocket fee, Donnie, out of pocket, $5,500 out of pocket. So on top of, any excess that you would have to pay, I've got to pay him $5,500. That doesn't include the anaesthetist, which was going to be about $1,500 out of pocket, and the assistant surgeon, which is also about $1,500 out of pocket. So, rough numbers, we're talking $8,500, then throw in some bloody, more scans and all sort of stuff. You're probably not going to get much change from $10,000. Now I'm like, this is bullshit because I know other people that have had exactly the same procedure and paid $500 out of pocket. So I'm like, why is my guy wanting to charge me $5,500 out of pocket for the same procedure? So I thought, this is bullshit. And I was so fired up, Donnie, I thought, you know what, I'm going to build a website and expose these fucking crooks and let people type in the item code that they need and people can submit what they've been quoted and we'll call out the people that are full of shit. And I was already starting to work on the outline of this website thinking, I'm fucking going to nail these pricks. We deserve this. Do it.
JT.
Yeah, I know, right? Well, clearly won't be going with this surgeon, but I thought, do it for the people, Anyway, I ended up speaking to my health fund insurer, Bupa, and what I'm going to share with you now is quite honestly, if anyone needs a procedure or surgery, I'm going to share something with you which quite genuinely will save you a bucket load of cash. So let me just throw this up on the screen right now. Just bear with me a second here. And I'm just going to find it.
This JT. Now, I don't have
okay, here
private
we
health
go.
insurance. Hand on heart, I was built in the public
So
system. I'm happy to stay there. What do you got?
now I'm just going to get your photo, mate, so everyone can see
All
your
right,
beautiful
mate.
face while I'm talking. Here we go. So here's Donny. So the website, for those that can see there on the screen, there is a website called Health Share. And I don't know if you can see the URL. I will post this in our group and on our page. But here's where this is what is amazing. So now it works for any health fund, right? So it doesn't matter if you're with Bupa or I don't know, Medibank Private or whoever it is, right? So I'm just going to give you a real example here. Now I need an orthopedic surgeon and I need someone that specialises in spines. So you can put in your postcode of wherever you are and hit search, and straight away it just comes up with a list of all the orthopedic surgeons that are part of this system. Now, what's really interesting is if we go to, say, some particular surgeons, now these are all in sort of the work in my area, right? So if we're just going to go and look at Professor Aaron Buckland as an example here. Now, when I click on Professor, it tells me a little bit about, him, his skills, all that sort of stuff, what hospitals he works out, if you can see here, Epworth Avenue, etc. But you can see this magic little button here called Fees. When you click on Fees, what this does is it actually shows you here in the last 6 months how many of his surgeries went through a no-gap scheme and how many were not in the no-gap scheme. So for this particular guy, 29% of his surgeries, people paid no gap. But for 71% of his surgeries, he was charging an out-of-pocket fee greater than $500. So you go, wow, that's really interesting. So of course, the next thing you want to do is go, well, I wonder what some of the other guys are doing. So if we go back and just as an example here, just bear with me because I've got the screen, and let's just say we'll go to Michael is at the top of the list. So I'll just go to Michael, follow the same process, go to fees, and here you can see 97% of his admissions were put through the no gap scheme. So the most you'll pay is a $500 out of pocket rather than say a $5,500 out of pocket that I was quoted. So it is an incredibly powerful tool. So if you need any surgery, any specialist, etc., I encourage you to go and look at the healthshare.com.au site, type in the type of specialist you need, the location you are, and it'll give you a list of surgeons. Go through. Now, clearly you still want to choose a surgeon that's, reputable and good and all that sort of stuff. So you can do your own research. But what you can do is make sure that if you are going to pick a surgeon, it's one who is participating in the no-gap schemes for your health fund, and then a fair chance you're not going to get reamed with massive out-of-pocket expenses. So I hope that is something that is very useful for all our listeners.
JT, that's going to save our listeners bloody bucket loads of cash. But you know what I was most impressed about that whole segment is when you open that, right, and here you are being stung a fortune, and your response is, I'm going to build a website and expose these bastards. Like, not everybody just thinks, oh, I'll just go and build a website. Like, mate, your skill set is beyond stupid for what you can do. And I love the fact that you think of people and how you know they're going to go to a website and you just bloody build one for them just to show these pricks up. So, and you didn't have to. So, I just
don't need to now.
It's bloody.
But how good a website that? So I know not everyone. And I touch wood, I hope our listeners don't need surgery, but if you do, it's a bloody confronting time and it's a very expensive time. Now, if you don't have private health insurance, who gives a shit about that website? But if you do, and a lot of us do have private health insurance for a whole bunch of different reasons, but if you do and you find yourself in a position that you do need some surgery, you're already in a bit of pain. The last thing you need is some financial pain to go on top of that. So, hopefully a really useful tool that you guys can use.
Good work, mate. Very good. Now, speaking of tools and using stuff, how do we get on the wheel for you? Got 3 questions, and I'm conscious.
Oh, we have got 3 questions, so I think it's a good time to get to.
I want to find out who's going to be on it.
Question number 2. It is a music related trivia question. So again, A, B, C, or D. Your time starts. We'll just click this little button here. Click here and let's go. What is the Village People's most streamed song on Spotify? Yeah, you all know the Village People, So Donnie, The choices are, here we go. We got A, YMCA. We all love a bit of YMCA. B, in the Navy. C, Macho Man. Macho Man. And D, Go West, one of their big songs. So what is the Village People's most streamed song on Spotify? A, YMCA. B, in the Navy. C, Macho Man. Or D, Go West. 10 seconds left to go. Get your guesses in for a shot on the wheel. Time is about to go. Bing! There it is. Everyone's party favourite, Donny. YMCA.
It is. I would have suspected it would have been. I mean, it just gets a run at everywhere. It gets people on the dance floor. So why wouldn't it be the most streamed? But I did think it might have been one of your bloody trick questions to stitch out.
No, I wouldn't do that to our people, Donny. We've got to give them a good chance to get on the wheel. So there you go. You were on the wheel. Now, of course, lots of other stuff to get through. I don't know how long we've been crapping on for, Donny. But what else have we got, Donny? We've got... we've got...
JT.
Yes.
Yeah. Eurovision. I want to know about
Eurovision. Donny, big event. Now, I don't know because you don't watch a lot of TV, Donny, but our listeners do, and we know that it's a little bit weird, but yeah, Australia is part of Eurovision, or has been for at least the last number of years. And I tell you what, Donny, we've been pretty bloody successful just quietly. So our highest result was second, Donny. I mean, that's pretty damn good, right? Second.
What was that? Someone unknown, or was it Guy Sebastian or Barnsey?
Well, I wouldn't say unknown. No, Guy Sebastian, he was fifth when he did it. No, Dami In was our best. She came second with her stirring rendition of Sounds of Silence. But it's on again this year, Donny. It is time for Eurovision, and I know a lot of people love tuning in, and a lot of people, of course, love going, go Aussies, you know. We want to support the local talent. And there's a bit of a competition every year to see who's going to represent Australia. They pick the best of the best. And we did it again this year, Donny. We've gone through our best of the best, and it's up to it's getting to the crunch time now. And I just want to share with you our entrance this year. Now, Donny, there's our entrance for this year. Sorry, I've just got to fix your camera again, as I always do. So there's our entrance. Now, of course, you would know straight away, Donny, just by looking at them, who they are. Of course, Donny, one of your favourite bands.
Well, I'm bands I usually listen to, not so much look at. So JT, I wouldn't have.
Donny, I'll put you out of misery. It's Electric Fields.
Electric Fields. That's right. Strawberries.
Look, let's not go into specifics, but let's just say that Australia has suffered, quote, a brutal exit from Eurovision 2024 after actually failed to make it past the first semi-final this morning to get a spot into the grand final. It is our worst result for Australia since one of the ones in the pandemic. So absolute shit show. Unfortunately, Australia out of Eurovision. Sorry, guys, if you enjoy Eurovision, it's still going ahead, of course. It's in Sweden this year. You just won't see any Aussies.
Well, that's bloody unfortunate, JT, but hardly surprising. Maybe when they're representing Australia, they could maybe, at a risk, just hold up the bloody Aussie flag as well. I'm all for the...
there we go.
You know, let's not bloody forget who we are. So, yep, I reckon there's place for all of us. But anyway, that's the flag I competed under, the Aussie flag. So that's why I'm a big fan to hold up the Aboriginal one as well. But I want to see the Aussie one. So don't fucking omit that, because otherwise no one's going to give a shit. Anyway, what else we got, JT?
Well, dad joke. Another trivia question. What do you want? Another trivia question or dad joke?
How's the wheel looking? Are you?
Well, we've got one more question to go. No, we've got one more question. Do we want to get the other question out so I've got time to load up the wheel?
Yes, let's do that.
Okay. All right, let's do that. All right. So let's do the final question. So another chance. Another chance
to share while you're putting people on the wheel.
Oh, good. Love a good filler.
And this,
excellent.
Good, but I was intrigued when I read it, JT.
That sounds interesting.
But anyway.
All right. So this question, Donny, this is a genuine trivia question. I did not know the answer, and I've heard this term all the time, and I never actually knew the answer. So I thought it'd make a good trivia question. It is a tricky one, but something hopefully that you just learn in the process. So, as with
I've
all
got a
of them,
couple of words to share with our listeners too. I've invented a word, and I would like to see if we can get it to take off. I'm going to share that with people while you're loading up the wheel after they've answered these questions. So go for it, mate.
Okay,
Go for it.
good little teaser. All right, here we go. Our trivia question for everyone here. As I quickly get Donnie's camera working out, you can read it on the screen. But we've all heard the term, how many litres are there in a barrel of oil? We hear the price of oil all the time, right? A barrel of oil. But how many litres are in a barrel of oil? Is it A,
What are the options,
79?
JT?
Is it B, 109? Is it C, 139 litres? Or is it D, 159 litres? How many litres are in a barrel of oil? A, 79, B, 109, C, 139, or D, 159? 10 seconds to go. And the answer is
159, JT.
159 litres in a barrel of oil. I genuinely did not know that, but it seems like I've been outsmarted by our listeners again because a lot got it right. So well done, guys. For those who didn't get it right, you've learned something. We have. And they've learned something if you didn't know it. So now, forever and a day, you'll go, I know how many litres are in a barrel of oil. So well done.
And I learned it on the GiddyUp podcast. Good work,
so well done, guys. Now, Donnie, you have a great story to share while I'm going to load some names onto the wheel.
I don't know if it's great, JT, but I am going to share a story.
All right, over to you.
Well, I've got three little stories, and I'll run them out while you're doing the bit that you do. Now, I was reading about a driver that crashed into the security gates at the White House. A driver dies after crashing into the White House gates. And JT, I'm a bit of a, shall we say, skeptic when it comes to the media. I tend to try and read between the lines a tad when I actually do read any of the media. And the driver was already dead when the security personnel went to tend to them. The Secret Service said, JT. Now, this guy
sounds a little bit sus, doesn't it, Tony?
At high speeds and hit the fence at the White House. They've grabbed him out. JT, I've got a tenor, and we'll never read this anywhere, but I've got a tenor that says there was probably a few bullet holes in him while he was approaching at high speeds to the White House. And you'll never read that. It's not printed anywhere, and it's just speculation from me. But JT, as if there is not snipers on the roof of the White House and everywhere else around the joint to take care of bloody imbeciles that think they're going to just drive through the gates and run up there and run over Mr. Biden. It's just amazing. So the fact that the Secret Service said he was dead when we got to him, I reckon if he wasn't, he might have died from a bit of resuscitation using boot, maybe. But anyway, it's not for me to speculate.
You're starting to sound like me, Donnie. It's,
There's no doubt they've capped him on the way in. JT, I want to share with you. My beautiful firstborn Nutto, she said, Dad, she rang me yesterday, day before, she said, Dad, it's not actually a real word. I'm going, what are you talking about, mate? She said, Dad, belt down. You know how you always say, when a perfect temperature of pie and it's a belt down? I go, yeah. She goes, I Googled it. It's not real, Dad. I'm saying, what do you mean it's not real? She goes, you made that up. You actually made that up. I'm going, I may have made it up. I may have made up the fact that belt down is the actual definition of a perfect temperature pie. Would you agree with that? So
I've never heard of it. Belt down. Belt down.
You know, when you get a pie, you go, oh, geez, what temperature is that at? That's a belt down. You don't have to stop and blow it.
No, never heard of it. Never heard of it.
It's going to catch on, JT, and I've got one more for you. Now, I did invent this word, and I'm asking the listeners, I'm going to share one that I've invented, and if our listeners have invented one, I want to hear it, okay? The word I invented, JT, is I was thinking about in one of my little car trips, I was with the beautiful first wife, Boof, and we're driving along, and I just go, an aphrodisiac. An aphrodisiac is something that turns you on, gets you horny, just go, oh yeah, that will get me going, no worries at all, right? And I thought, what's the opposite? And I couldn't for the life of me work out what the opposite to an aphrodisiac was. So I just got thinking, and this is what I come up with, JT. I come up with orangutan. Now, you might say, Don, what the bloody hell is orangutan? Well, orangutan is a combination of words, and the sum total is that they are the opposite to an aphrodisiac. In other words, there is not a hope in hell you could possibly shag that person. They are so revolting, they turn you off. And this is how I come up with it, JT. Ranger, well, no disrespect to our redheads out there, but you're on the short list of stunners. And then, like, really short list. And then descent, meaning you're on the slope down. And short for mullet, and I haven't really seen anyone rocking a mullet and I go, that's hot. So a combination of that was orangutan JT, and that's how I come up with that word that stands for opposite to an aphrodisiac. So if our listeners have got a word that they've invented or a saying like belt down, we'd bloody love to hear it, because on this show we will get your words trending. Maybe only on this show, but that's the plan. All right, so if you've got a word that you made up, let us know. What do you reckon, JT? Got any words?
I can't think of any off the top of my head that I've made up. No, I've nothing. I've absolutely none. But what I can confirm, Don, is the wheel is loaded. The wheel is, I know.
Let's get to the wheel.
I don't
That's
have any.
real.
I just don't have any.
It's not like my bloody made up words.
Now, I think
Janine will get on the belt down, I'm telling you. So we'll
belt down up.
Take off.
Sounds a bit dodgy, the old belt down, to be honest.
It's not like someone thought it was like time to get it on, like belt down. It's not like drop your pants, get your belt down. It was like this pie is just, I want to belt it down. Anyway.
Never heard of it. All right, here's the wheel.
Shit, JT, that's a lot of people on there.
I hope I got it right. It's bloody one of the learnings, Donnie, that I've again just picked up a little bit of a learning is in between trivia questions, Donnie, we probably should add some text or comments so I know when one question's finished and the other one starts. Might be good for the next one, just quietly. But anyway, minor details. We'll get there. All right. So the wheel is loaded. It is a bottle of Spank. Bottle of Spank, Donnie.
Pick your flavour,
right.
blackcurrant, honey, bloody mango. I tried some mango last night. Lovely.
All right.
Peach.
Good luck, everyone. Here we go.
Go, you good things. What have we got, JT? Our winner is... Emma B.
Well done, Emma B. You have got yourself a bottle of Spank of your flavour. Donnie will be in contact with you to decide which flavour you would like to
contact me, because I've got no idea who Emma B is.
Reach out to us on the page, Emma. We will we'll look after you, don't you worry. So congratulations. Bad luck to Rodney and Abby. Just jibbed basically. So yep. Yeah, it really does, doesn't it? We of course do entertain appeals, and your appeal's been dismissed. Thank you. So.
Three judges.
Oh, did you see that comment come up? That is, we've got some problems going on with our comments, because Rodney just said, JT, you are the funniest bloke I have ever met, and it's spat out some weird shit going on there. What's going on there? Let me fix up that little bloody weird. That's funny though.
Unusual for us to have weird shit going on our show. Emma Brooke.
There we go.
Oh, she's a bloody very smart cooker. What's she doing listening to the podcast? She's way too smart for this lot. Oh, good on you, Em. Bloody, I do remember now, Em. She was a champion at school. Very smart. Very, very smart. Well,
there we go. Well, congratulations. You've won a bottle of Spank anyway. That's the main thing. All right, Donnie, what else have we got? Dad joke. Do we need a dad joke? What do you reckon, people?
Going to wrap us up, JT.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it.
Dad joke of the week.
Whew. Donnie, everyone loves a good dad joke, particularly if they're good. Unfortunately, this isn't one of them, but I'll just go through it anyway, Donnie. All right, so, Donnie, bear with me. This is another love story. And I remember our listeners, I shared the Titanic love story, a couple of weeks ago. This is just another love story, really. So, Fiona meets Nathan at a local singles meet, Donnie, and they agree to see each other again at the weekend for dinner and drinks at the local restaurant. Fair to say the initial meeting went well, and they wanted to progress things. So when they met, they got on so well that she invites him back to her place for a bit of Netflix and chill. Now, after a few drinks, Donny, things start to get a little bit steamy, but that's when Fiona notices a little bit of an odd behaviour in Nathan. So first, as soon as he takes his shirt off, he goes to the bathroom to wash his hands. And 5 minutes later, because he comes back, they get back down to business. 5 minutes later, he takes his trousers off. But then he goes to the bathroom again to wash his hands. So when he gets back again, Fiona's like, I bet you're a dentist. And this surprises Nathan, but he replies, well, yeah, I am, but how did you know? He's like, well, it was easy. You keep washing your hands after each procedure. That's just something a dentist would do, right? Every time they do something, they wash their hands. But anyway, I didn't mind. All good. Do you want to head to the bedroom and let's, get down to some action? So after they make, very passionate love, Fiona says, well, you must be an extremely good dentist. And he's like, well, yes, I am. He says a little bit modestly, but she's like, well, but how did you know, Donny? And she's like, well, because I never felt a thing.
Oh, Nate. Oh, that's the last date that he's having there. That is. I like what you've done there. Did anybody else like that dad joke? Oh, JT.
I try my best, Donny. That's all I can do, right? I only try my best.
No matter what I think, it's all about what the listeners think. And if they've liked it, they'll let us know. It didn't light up the screen with ha's or anything.
Choco's giving me a ha. That'll do. Choco, you are the man. That is awesome. Love you. Now, Donny, next week, have we got a problem?
JT, well, my good friends at Qantas will be flying me back to Melbourne at the time of the podcast. So they do say you can have Wi-Fi on there, but you're not allowed to do calls. So JT, I'm going to put it out there now and say I'm unable to do the podcast next week. Abby's very harsh. She'll be taking a reprieve from dad jokes next week. So, JT, I cannot do it next week. I'm going to be on a flight, unfortunately. But, JT, I will come back from where I'm going with some wonderful stories about what's coming up. I told at the start, this is a bloody exciting little...
I don't think anyone heard it at the start, Donny. So can you just, before we sort of close off tonight, can you just maybe just give people a little bit of a tease? Like just a teeny-weeny one?
I've auditioned for something, JT, and
right.
I'm very, very shortlisted. So that's all I can say right now. It's something bigger than the podcast, would you believe?
Hang on, what?
I know. It's unlikely there's anything bigger than this. But JT, I have got some big news coming in. It's bloody exciting. I can't tell you a lot more because I actually don't know. I'll fill you in when I find out, though.
We've said too much already, Donny. We are under nothing. But it's very exciting. So stay tuned. We will have a big announcement. We're not going to be with you next week unless we can find a hole that a single foot model is not. We can rule that one out. We can rule it out,
Kevin. I like what he's got to say. He's a very funny man now, Kevin. Foot model. That's very good. Yes. No, it won't be foot modelling.
No, it will not. And thank God he's not singing. We all saw how that went at the Sydney Olympics. Might have to drag up that little commercial once again of you busking on the streets of. It was very funny. Still laugh at it. If we can find a night, we'll see you next week. Otherwise, unfortunately, it'll be another couple of weeks. But when we come back, trust me, some massive news that Donny will be announcing.
And we will have footy tickets, JT, our new
sponsor. Oh, yes, we will.
It'll be footy ticket time. So good luck.
We're going to meet this new sponsor?
It's bloody fantastic.
We're going to meet them?
Yes, okay. We'll meet them. I haven't got all the juicy details of how they want to be broadcast and shown to the world yet, but I'll get that off them. And, Oh, God.
I love it.
This is tomorrow.
Keep them coming. I'm loving these comments. This is great. Awesome. All right. Well, look, thanks everyone for joining us as per usual. Apologies for the complete balls up at the start again. Well, eventually we'll get it right. But It'd be weird with the fun if we actually got it all working smoothly, though, Donnie. It would just be no fun at all, would it, really? And if there is anyone out there in your network, quite seriously, that wants to learn a little bit, I'm looking for someone to take under the wing, so to speak, and would love to have someone sitting next to me and producing and helping with comments and all of that sort of stuff. So if you know someone young who'd like to have a bit of fun and learn, I'm in Cheltenham, so if they're not too far away, they can join on the show. Might be something good opportunity or something to get involved with. So if you know anyone in your networks, put them in touch with me. That would be bloody awesome. Other than that, Donnie, what's on ahead for the week as we slowly wrap up?
JT, a big event tomorrow in Taree. We're going to connect the service providers. That'll be lovely. And then, and I have got a huge weekend to celebrate my mum's birthday, who unfortunately yesterday we reminded ourselves that it was 1 year gone, and it was really tough. So a big shout out to my family that all got around and just shared the love together, and all the people that reached out to our family to remind us how special Mum was. We really appreciate that. So thank you for that. And on Saturday night, we've got a bonfire that will bloody put Toke on the map at Chubb's Joint. So that'll be large, and there'll be a few ports enjoyed there, because that was a drop that Mum enjoyed. So we will absolutely we'll enjoy that as well. So anyway, lovely people. It's going to be huge. JT, what's your week look like?
Well, Donnie, before we go, we have one final segment. Now, Donnie, put you on the spot. It didn't see anything on the run sheet. Have you got one there? You have just snuck one in there. Yeah.
I have got one there, JT, and that is this, guys. It's certainly helped me around Paralympics and all my planning, thinking 4 years in a row about where I want to be in the future as opposed to where I am right now. And I would remind you all, my final thought is this, and that is use hindsight to understand where you are right now. But if you really want to get ahead in life, use the power of foresight to determine where you want to be in the future.
There you go. Use the power of foresight. I love it. Now, can I just share a story with our listeners? It's not a joke, but I just found it was a good story. So if you allow me to indulge this for a second. So there was an Airbus A380. Donnie, you love your airplanes, the biggest of the best, the A380. And it's just cruising along the Atlantic. And it goes consistently at about 800 k's an hour, 30,000 feet in the sky. These things are amazing. But it's flying along, and all of a sudden, this Eurofighter, massive fighter plane, just comes up right next to the plane. And the pilot of the fighter jet, because they're bloody fast, he slows it back down along the Airbus, and he greets the pilot of the passenger plane by radio, and he goes, "Oh, Airbus, a bit of a boring flight, is it? Take a look at this." So he rolls his jet on his back, accelerates, breaks through the sound barrier, rises to a height, swoops down to sea level, comes back up, loops around the Airbus, and comes back up next to the window, and he's like, "Hey, how was that? Hey!" And the Airbus pilot goes, "Well, yeah, that was pretty impressive, but watch this." So the pilot of the Airbus, he just sort of goes, "Okay," and the guy in the fighter jet, he's sort of looking at the Airbus and just watching, and keeps watching the Airbus, and he's still watching, and the Airbus just keeps flying along straight and at the same speed. So after about 15 minutes, the jet fighter's just radioed back in. He's like, a little bit confused, like, "Mate, what did you do?" And the Airbus pilot just laughed and said, "Well, I got up, I stretched my legs, I walked to the back of the aircraft, went to the washroom, got a cup of coffee, had a bit of chocolate cake, and I'm back here." And the moral of the story, Donnie, is that when you're young, speed and adrenaline seem to be great. But as you get older and wiser, you learn that comfort and peace are far more important.
JT, that's a much better final thought. I like it, and a beautiful description of how that's come about. Very good, my friend. Well played.
All right, there we go. That is us for tonight. Thanks, everyone, for tuning in. I better get Donnie's screen up here. You're not going to see it. Donnie, are you ready for our big one? Our big, what do we call it, GiddyUp thing? Oh, I can't even hear it. How are you going to get to it?
JT.
Oh, no. Wait.
JT.
It's coming. Wait! Oh no! There we go.
You sound like an old bloke in a retirement village on the job. It's coming. It's coming. Anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. We've loved your work and giddy up.
Oh, Donnie, big shout out before you go.
Big shout out to Swifty. Happy birthday, my little mate. I hope you, buddy, grow up a little bit, like as in height. That'll be fantastic. It wouldn't be too late either. We love you a long time, Swifty. And little Janine, you are a champion. You've been awesome for our show, and we love having you on, and it's awesome. So happy birthday, mate.
Happy birthday. All right, guys, thanks. Have a wonderful week ahead. Hopefully we'll see you. If it's not next week, one night, it'll be the week after. Enjoy. Keep an eye out on the Facebook page. We'll keep you posted. Bye for now.